Welcome back, fellow Warhammer fans. Today we've got a lot to cover as we dive into the latest reveals from Adepticon for Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer Underworlds. Among the exciting announcements, we've got not one, but two new Battletomes, as well as a Battletome roadmap to look forward to. But that's not all. We're also treated to the final Seraphon reveals, along with our first ever glimpse of the stunning models from the upcoming Dawnbringer crusades. And let's not forget the new season of Warhammer Underworlds, which promises to bring even more thrilling gameplay to the table. So buckle up and get ready to join me on this journey as we explore all the details of this massive reveal. It's going to be epic. Let's start with those brand new Battletomes. The Bringers of Death are to be reinforced with renewed unholy vigour as vampire dynasties and necromantic constructs return to the fray. So the two Battletomes that have been revealed are Ossiarch bonereapers and soulblight gravelords, and each have received a brand new character. First up for the Ossiarch bonereapers is the Mortisan ossifector. He's a Mortisan bone shaper, but he specialises in the large constructs, the Gothisar harvesters, the Morghast archai, and the Mortek crawlers. These ingenious engineers develop their craft even during battle, using their sorcerer skill to augment and refine their creations, protecting them from harm and granting them grim modifications. So it sounds like he's going to be able to give some powerful buffs to the big constructs of the army. And he's just a very cool sculpt, isn't he? There's so much motion carried in there with the stuff swirling around him and the broken pieces of bone being carried by magical energy. All of the reveals today are just showing how far Games Workshop is pushing the envelope with plastic models. They are all amazing, and there is a bit of a theme actually with things floating and swirling around people. There have been no units teased for the bonereapers. I think that it will just be a hero release, so no bow-wielding Mortek guard this time, I'm afraid. And for soulblight gravelords, the hero revealed was Ivia Volga, the Outcast. Now she's another one from the Vycross dynasty. But instead of revering the wolf, she reveres the bat, and hence she's been rejected, and now she's been marked as an outcast. But she looks really cool, doesn't she, unleashing this swarm of bats here, so I can't wait to hear a bit more about her and her rules on the tabletop. I'm definitely expecting her to have some kind of ranged attack as she sends her bats out to attack people. Maybe something a bit like Dryker's Swarms, but more evil. And the book contains rules for each of the major dynasties and the esteemed legions of Blood and Night, and on top of that there's also a war scroll for the Askrogan True Blades, who are the awesome models that came out recently for Warcry. Again, it's another one model, one book release, but I do have to say that both these models seem really cool and look like will actually add something interesting to the army and to the lore. I remember when the Khorne book was released, I did think to myself, does Khorne need another priest on foot or another character on foot? But these are both really interesting, so I'm pretty happy with this. And up next we have the Seraphon reveals, and I was just absolutely blown away by these. Like seriously, this range in its entirety now is by far one of the best ranges that Games Workshop have ever produced. And it seems that we were quite on the money with what has been released. We did look at the Games Workshop website in the predictions video and noticed that there were numerous models that have just disappeared from the website altogether, including the Saurus Knights and the Croxagors. And they're both back, and let's start with these Knights. I mean, there is just no comparison between the previous Knights and these new ones. They're just so incredible. They look really ferocious. I love that they've got the feathers coming out the back of them. They almost look like mini carnosaurs in a way, whereas the old ones, they did sort of look like rideable lizards. These mounts could stand up on their own before you put a Saurus on the top. And of course the new Saurus are excellent, so I was just blown away by these. I think they're absolutely fantastic models. I think they'll look incredible on the tabletop. I just can't say enough good things about them, really. And I'm just so pleased that they have redone them. And there's also an option to build a Scar Veteran on an Agrodon as well, which is really cool to have a commander. A really nice mid-sized hero. Great presence on the battlefield there, and his Agrodon just roaring. Brilliant model. Great sculpt. I think it's fantastic. Nice to have another hero as well, and nice to have a hero that isn't a skink. There's a lot of skink heroes and Saurus heroes, so really pleased to see this as well. And then the Croxagors. So we were right with the rumour engine image. Look at this guy. He's holding that weapon that we saw previously. He looks absolutely awesome. They're really big and fearsome and everything you'd want from a Kroxigor. But when I first saw them, I did think they don't really look like crocodiles. And then I saw the Kroxigor war spawned, and I was blown away by these. This is exactly the Kroxigor model that I would have wanted as a boy when I first saw the lizard men. And all young boys are kind of obsessed with dinosaurs, and they're brilliant, aren't they? And I think their weapons are really cool as well, with these big like bones and shaped fangs coming out of them, and their barbed tails, and they're so ferocious looking. I think the Kroxigors look brilliant. But the Kroxigor Warspawn are just fantastic, and there's a bit of flavour text about them here that I'll read because I thought that was kind of cool as well. So, Kroxigor Warspawn are a spawn breed marked by the wrathful god Sotek. Once a rare sight, the ear of the beast has seen the revival of more and more Warspawned, battle-bred brutes who are barely functional outside of combat. Requiring skink attendants to clean and feed them, should anyone lay a finger on their devoted assistants, these crocodilian killers fly into an apoplectic rage. So this feeds back to where Kroxigors always came from. Traditionally, back in the days of Warhammer Fantasy, they're always paired up with skinks, and the skinks are at the front, and the Kroxigors reached over them and bashed the enemy on the head with their massive moon hammers. So cool to see them back, cool to see two variants, but I think of the two variants, really, there's only one variant. And the cover art for the book was revealed, and it's new cover art, which is nice to see, and also the battle box, which includes a slan, and it includes some of the new Saurus warriors, and it includes 10 of the new skink Raptidon chargers or Raptidon hunters, depending on how you want to build them. I do think that at this point it's worth noting what we haven't seen. We haven't seen a Razordon, which leads me to believe that we are just going to have the Salamander kit. It isn't a dual kit, and there will be no Razordon, which is quite unusual, because they could have quite easily made that kit a dual kit, but obviously they've decided that that's not really what they want to do. And also the Saurus Guard here haven't been updated, which for me leaves them the kind of last unit in the army that is a bit out of place, because it shouldn't really be that the Saurus Warriors are better than the Saurus Guard, or look better than the Saurus Guard, because the Saurus Guard is supposed to be more elite. But with that said, I do really think now, altogether, this range is just absolutely fantastic. I think it might be unparalleled in Age of Sigmar now. Or maybe will be until the Dawnbringer Crusades come out. Because that's right, we've finally had a reveal that isn't a piece of artwork, which isn't a bit of some guy's arm, or a bit of a shield, or the top of a sword. We've got full, proper models from the Dawnbringer Crusades. There's only 3, and they're only lowly foot sloggers, but that's what the Dawnbringer Crusades are all about. It's about the ordinary people living in this fantastical world, going out into the chaos waste with only their faith in Sigmar, and maybe a couple of Stormcast Eternals, to create new settlements in the God King's name. And here they are. Here are our 3, and I think they're fantastic, and for multiple reasons. They are like the old Free Guild Guard, if you put them in a fantasy setting. The old Free Guild Guard were Warhammer Empire models that were based on the Holy Roman Empire, and they always had that slight historic feel to them, whereas these have got kind of a more Discworld feel to them, a bit more steampunk feel to them. These are the denizens of a fantasy setting. I think the shields are my favourite part of the model, actually, because it leaves this space here where you can put in an emblem from your own city. And speaking of emblems of cities, we got given this picture here, which has got all sorts on there. So straight away I can see Tempest's Eye. It's the easy one to see because it's an eye with a Tempest coming out the bottom of it. There's one couple with a hammer, so that must be Hammer Hall. And on the top left there is a tree with a twin-tailed comet in it, and that is the Living City, and that has been rumoured to be going away, and the Wanderers line has been rumoured to be cancelled, so it's really interesting to see it still there. Wonder what shape that will take. Maybe the rumours aren't true, we'll have to wait and see. Personally, the city that I collect is Living City, so very pleased to see it there. And then we got this roadmap, so the spring releases have all been filled in now. We've got our 2 Chaos Battletomes. We know what our 2 Death Battletomes will be. In the summer, we have the Seraphon and a Mystery Battletome release. And then in the autumn, we've got the new Cities of Sigmar book coming out with another Mystery Battletome release. Now, in the reveals prediction video, we did say that we think that Flesh Eater Courts were one of the Mystery Battletomes. So let me know in the comments what you think the other one might be. And last but by absolutely no means least, we got a brand new Warhammer Underworlds box, which is set in the Gnarlwood. In the preview predictions video, we were looking at the map of Gur and trying to work out where it could be, and we did say it might be in Gallet, but it looks like it's going to be in the Gnarlwood, which we know is a really cool setting, and it's nice to tie it in with Warhammer Warcry. The first of the new warbands is a Stormcast warband, Domitan's Storm Coven, and they are a trio of Knights Arcanum from the Valedictor Temple, who scour the realms for arcane knowledge to aid in Sigmar's struggle. And the Wyrdhollow is absolutely stuffed with suitable trinkets, not to mention a brewing magical apocalypse. And these are three of the nicest Stormcast models that I've seen. Again, they've got this motion that they carry with these floating rocks. I think this is a really cool look for them. It's something that I've tried to emulate in my models by modelling, and it's quite difficult to do. So I'm really pleased that Games Workshop are introducing these kinds of bases. You just really feel that they're thrumming with magical energy. And speaking of magical enemy, their opponents are Ephelim's Pandemonium, a cabal of demons summoned by the mysterious Ephelim. This sorcerer, once apprenticed to a Gaunt summoner, is obsessed with cataloguing demonic creatures. They seek to turn the Wyrdhollow into a nexus of creation magics, a cauldron that will spawn new demon breeds of infinite variety. And they've got all sorts of demons that follow them along, and all kinds of weird and wonderful things, from this kind of half bird thing crawling along on its arms, and here we've got a little pink horror with 5 arms, something with like loads of mouths, and one of its playing cards is Too Many Mores, because I think it opens up its mouth and there's like another mouth inside and then another mouth. They're all weird and wonderful. They're very cool. And of course, the starter set comes with everything you need to play the game. It comes with 2 universal rival decks, and then it comes with upgrade cards so that you can, begin to expand your decks beyond the rival cards. And that was all the reveals for Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer Underworlds at Adepticon this year. Absolutely fantastic, and still plenty more to look forward to with those 2 mystery Battletomes still to be revealed. Please let me know in the comments what you are most excited about and what you think those mystery Battletomes may be. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop it a like, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss out on any news. If you are a subscriber and you've been enjoying the content and you want to take your support further, then please consider heading over to the Patreon page and signing up to become a patron. Even a small monthly contribution will go a long way in supporting the channel. So to our patrons, thank you so much for your support, and I can't wait to continue creating content for all of you to enjoy. This has been 9-inch Charge. May your battles be epic and your victories glorious. I'll see you next time.